Welcome to this explainer. I want you to picture something for a second. Imagine you're holding a compass, right? But instead of the needle pointing steadily north, it's just spinning wildly, uncontrollably. Or maybe, it's like watching your phone's GPS bounce you across 3 different streets when you're literally just trying to find a coffee shop. Have you ever felt like that in your day-to-day life? Like you're living in a world where absolutely everything feels relative, entirely subjective, and completely directionless? It is an incredibly dizzying feeling. Well, today, we're exploring a pretty profound concept, which is the title of our focus, the moral value of the dimension of reality. Let's figure out how to stop that compass needle from spinning.
Okay, let's dive into this. The central question from our source material is this: what exactly is the moral value of uncertainty? Think about it. When the path forward is completely hidden in a thick fog, how do we determine right from wrong? How in the world do we decide which step to take and which to avoid when we don't even really know where we're standing? This is the core dilemma our source material presents.
Here is our cognitive map for this explainer. 1. The trap of relativity. 2. Don't abandon the foundation. 3. Redefining uncertainty. 4. The power of independence. And 5. Stepping towards idealism. We are going to shift from total paralysis to actionable idealism.
Section 1. The Trap of Relativity. Don't make truth the victim.
You see, it usually starts with just one wrong interpretation. Imagine getting a single math problem wrong and then dramatically deciding that numbers just don't exist anymore. Sounds crazy, right? But human nature often leads us to discard an entire concept over a single error. We just throw the baby out with the bathwater. And those flawed decisions create this incredibly dangerous illusion that truth itself just doesn't exist. We end up getting completely trapped in despair. But the text argues that this despair isn't actually caused by a lack of foundational truth in the universe. Nope, it's caused by our own lack of precision. We fail to see how things function, we completely misplace our priorities, and then we just blame reality for being meaningless.
Section 2. Don't abandon the foundation. Natural laws remain consistent.
Look, there is a massive difference in how we process the unknown. On one hand, you have absolute doubt. This is the trap of doubting all truth as if it just flat out doesn't exist. But on the other hand, you have limited doubt, and this is a total game changer. Limited doubt means doubting specifically to find what actively nurtures our potential and our growth. It's purposeful.
So the crucial point is that from any direction, there is always fundamental truth acting as a foundation. Always. Even if the day-to-day actualization of that truth looks entirely different than what you expected, the foundation is absolutely still there. Failing to see a tiny piece of truth doesn't mean truth has vanished from the universe. It simply means its specific direction hasn't been clearly established for you quite yet.
Section 3. Redefining uncertainty. It's about precision, not chaos.
Let's break down this definition straight from the source because it's so important. The moral value of understanding relativity and uncertainty is maintaining precision in the search for truth. The whole point here is to be so careful that when you do make an error in determining your direction, which, let's be honest, you definitely will, that error doesn't suddenly mutate into a fatalistic doubt about the existence of truth itself. Uncertainty is absolutely not a license to just act chaotically. Rather, it's a strict, demanding call for carefulness, for deep awareness, and for profound personal responsibility.
I really want this quote to sink in for a second. Uncertainty more often shows that something hasn't been decided yet, rather than that there is no truth to be ascertained. Think back to that compass metaphor from the very beginning. Just because the needle is spinning right now, just because things are highly uncertain, doesn't mean the physical direction of north has ceased to exist. It just means the compass hasn't setted yet.
Section 4. The power of independence, navigating subjectivity.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how we view open-mindedness. We tend to think that saying, hey, everything is subjective, makes us so free and enlightened. But extreme subjectivity actually reveals a deep lack of independence. When we think everything is totally subjective, what we are usually doing is leaning way too heavily on other people's opinions. We end up completely paralyzed because we're frantically trying to weigh everyone else's thoughts instead of forging our own clarity.
The ultimate antidote to this paralysis is a concept the source refers to as kamandirian, which translates to a deep, resolute independence. And this is framed as a moral duty. It means you must step up, you have to keep aggressively searching for the truth, you have to carefully weigh the options on your own, determine the direction independently, and then, and this is absolutely crucial, consistently hold firm to your decisions. You cannot just float around in a sea of relativity. You've got to plant your feet, evaluate reality, and choose a direction.
Section 5.
Stepping towards idealism, the practical path forward.
Let's move to and see how this builds into real daily navigation. How do we actually step through an incredibly uncertain reality? Well, first, you have to be realistic. This means perfectly aligning your decisions with your actual current capabilities. Don't live in a fantasy. Second, be pragmatic. Ensure that whatever direction you choose has actual beneficial value and usefulness in the real world. And third, be idealistic. Now, idealism here isn't about blind dreaming. It's about climbing the stairs of your goals, step by step, consistently moving toward the absolute best possible outcome. Realistic, pragmatic, idealistic. That's the formula.
So here is our ultimate takeaway, the definition of true strength, according to this text. True strength is not looking at a deeply confusing world and easily confirming the absence of certainty. Honestly, that's just taking the easy way out. True strength is realizing that those realistic, pragmatic, and idealistic values simply haven't been secured yet. Certainty is not dead. It's merely waiting to be built by us, step by step, through our own focused effort and precision.
Which leaves us with this final, massive thought. In an uncertain world where the compass needle is wildly spinning, whose direction are you following? Are you just letting the relativity of the crowd dictate your path? Or are you ready to embrace the moral value of reality, completely claim your independence, and forge your own path? The foundation of truth is right there under your feet. It's entirely up to you to take the next step.